Howdy doody. Let's get this closer. There we go. Oh my gosh. We got to turn off our... Hi, everybody. Oh, let me see. I'm crooked here. My dog's barking. Lovely. Hey, listen to this while we start. This is a song written by one of the ESC team that made patches for the MegaMagic Violin Demo library. That's I'll tell you about it in a minute, but listen. These are in the library, and you can get it right now. So I'll tell you in a second. It's like an Ace of Base track or something. Isn't that great? So this is using, I believe, one Omnisphere and one Super Macho drums playing parts. And the patches are all patches that are now inside of this MegaMagic Violin Demo All. And if you go to the website, if you have bought this $2 library, you can go to your My Account. And if you have it, right here it is. So you can say, instead of the demo, just download Demo All. And it will install this file, which has, and then I'm going to show you in a second how to do some file management, because you'll end up, let's see, I think I've got it set. So you got the demo, it's missing for me now. So I only have Demo All, and I'll show you how you do that. But once you get here, you have not only, if you go to author, to John Limcool, a lot of people put me as credit for the patches. I'm going to clean this up for the full final version, but I'm co-producer with all these patches, I guess. But inside of here, if you get down to especially like pad and stuff, it's really hard to see them because of the names. But the 18 patches of the original demo library are here. Those would be more things like the pizzicato. Oh, I'm supposed to have that go on. So it's a big day around here. It's my daughter's 18th birthday. So I am really a happy papa. So I've been helping get her. She's camping in the mountains with her mom today. And then I'm going to spend tomorrow with her for her birthday. But I have an 18-year-old kid. Can you believe it? And if she watches this video someday in the future, Hannah, I love you like no one on the planet. And I always will. And happy birthday. Love, love. My God. So proud of her. Gives life meaning to have kids, my friends. So I hope you have experienced that. And it just gives you perspective on so much to have a little mini me as part of this world, that you're being a part of their life and helping them grow and stuff. So thank you. You want to see a picture? I am so proud of her. I'm probably not supposed to, but check this out. This is my daughter. Oh, you're seeing all my friends. Let me do this. I'll do it like this. So I like this. There. That's my daughter, Hannah. And I love her like no one else on the planet. I'm a lucky papa. Makes the heart swell. Love my kid. I mean, my gosh. So, you guys are all, I love family and sharing with you. 29, wow. Yeah, don't talk about how long ago since we were 18. My gosh, we can't even go there. By the way, since we're just going all over the place, because that's how, I'm Gemini, by the way, if you don't know this. I'm Gemini, I'm air, I am all over the place. And so, I got a new phone, and this is the new iPhone. And the camera on this is unfreaking believable. I am so impressed. I had an iPhone 6 that I've had for 4 years, and I finally was like, you know what? I'm just going for it. So I got the Max. It's so nice. I got older eyes, so I can read. But the camera is truly like, it is, you know, if my daughter sees this, she'll be pissed off at me. But I went to a concert last night and got to see Journey and Def Leppard. And it was a great show. It was crazy. And I recorded stuff with this camera. And the quality of this, it's like, this is like, sounds like a drunk karaoke party. But the quality, it's like you're watching a DVD live show somewhere. And it's just, anyway, it's leaps and bounds. And if I was to show you my AR dragon, I've got this dragon that you push a button and he shows here. I gotta show you because it's just the coolest thing. So if let's see if I don't know, it might not be bright enough to generate him. And plus he's really mad at me because I haven't fed him. But if I was to go like right here and say summon, there's a dragon that shows up. And you can get rewards and all that kind of stuff. And you can feed him, you can throw him chicken and food. And if you walk around, it's a 3D model, but it's not anywhere else except for on your phone. The technology is just insane. So being a tech person, I love technology. I love what it's doing. All sorts of cool things are happening. So it's like Tamagotchi, but it's an AR Tamagotchi, and it's really fun. So if you want AR Dragon on your iPhone, if you have an iPhone X or later, you can have a virtual dragon that you spend time, play ball with, you shoot targets. It's disgustingly fun. Hey, Harold. Hey, welcome. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, and Transient Man's talking about just where, wow, 2 doors down from where the lead singer, that dude's got pipes. I must say, the singer of Def Leppard, I was so impressed. Wow. Too much delay on his voice, but I think that's to cover the fact that he's not a young spring chicken anymore. So do not use. Anyway, so if you have the if you've bought this little $2 library, this is I love to do this kind of stuff. I try to make enough money to pay my bills, which I am blessed to be able to do, but I'm not in this for money. I mean, maybe someday that might happen. I don't know. If it does, great. But I just love doing stuff like this. I love getting all of you guys involved. If you go to the website, you can still buy this. This will be available for another week. And then this is going away and you can't get it. Maybe under special conditions, I might make it available. But it doesn't show up. This goes away. The full library shows up and the $2 version goes away. The reason I do the $2 version is like over 40 of you crazy guys and gals made patches and sent them to me. We are honored to go through the patches. It's so awesome. Many of you is the first time to program. I mean, it's a blessing. It's so cool. So if you buy this $2 library, just before I went live, the reason I was 2 minutes late is because I was adding it to the website. So if you log into the website and you look at your list of patches that you own, you'll see the library for the Violin Demo. And right next to it, there's now a thing to download called Omnisphere 2 MegaMagic Violin Demo All. The All is the version. Oh, I got a lot of apps running. Let's see if I go over here and I don't need that. I don't need QuickTime Player. I don't need that. Don't need that. By the way, I'm using my new streaming software. This is OBS. It is software that is free. It's Smart Wizard set everything up for me so that I can do this without the crazy prices I was paying for the Livestream software. So I am so thrilled to have that. I can do live streams more often. There's all sorts of fun things I'm planning to do. But right here is the file that you will download. And if you double click, it will open up an .omnisphere file. No instructions, nothing like that. You would go to Omnisphere, you would say install.omnisphere. and say, okay, I'm not going to install anything I haven't bought and that I'm not legally right to use, right? And then you would go here and you would choose this and say install. Once you hit the open button, it will install. It will give you the completed message. And now you will have both the Violin Demo and the Violin Demo All. And if you want to get rid of that, I'll show you how to do that. Let me see if I go up here and hide this for a second. So you need to open up and navigate to your Steam folder. I wanted to share a couple tips because one thing I love with when the Mac first came out years ago, every hard drive icon that you had showed up on your desktop. And Apple in their, I don't know what the heck they're thinking about, but they made it so that that doesn't show up. And it's one of the biggest mistakes to not be able to navigate to your hard drive easily and quickly. If you go to your Finder to Finder Preferences, right here are the preferences. And right here is the button that chooses to say hard drives, external hard drives, all that stuff. So you can turn that on. You can also go to the sidebar and you can enable and turn on things. If you have the sidebar, what's great with this is you can take like the Steam folder, which I'm accessing all the time, right? And let's see, let's go back one notch. So I'm to Spectrasonics. You can take the Steam folder and you just drag it over here. And now you've made it become part of the sidebar. So you can just click that to quickly get to the Steam folder or to any other Steam folder that you need to get to quickly. You can say remove with the right click like this. Doing these things will save so much time. And I don't know why Apple I don't understand it. I just do not understand it. But you need to be able to see your hard drives on your desktop. So this way you can just double click here. Go to where typically the library, application support, and then you have a Spectrasonics folder here. If you're not sure where it's at, you can very quickly find out easily by clicking the Spectrasonics logo and hitting diagnostics. And updates are available. I have not gotten the latest updates. So make sure you get the latest updates. And it will tell you right here your Steam folder is and the exact location. And now that you have a hard drive icon, it's real easy to go, okay. So this is on sample. So I'd go to my sample. I'm not going to go there because I don't want you to see everything on my hard drive. But you go there to that sample folder, to that folder, to your Spectrasonics folder, to your Steam folder. That's how you navigate. These dash marks each navigate and tell you the name of a different folder you have to go into to end up where you end up. I'm realizing more and more, a lot of you guys are, and I don't mean this in an insult, but barely computer literate. A lot of this is like totally new. I've helped a number of people this week that just, they're percussionists. And it's like, I bought this stuff and I don't know what the heck I'm doing. And I think there's a lot more of you out there than a lot of manufacturers realize. Because it's so easy to get access to this stuff. And here you have this stuff that looks like an airplane that you can fly and you don't know how to do anything with it. And then software like even the Apple software itself hides these things so you can't see them. So if you have access, I think I just did something. Command period. Actually, just do this. Force quit. I'm going to do a force quit with the Finder. Relaunch. So it's not, it was trying to add, I dragged these over somewhere. I was going to copy them or something. I don't want to do that. Anyway, so if you go here, I happen to have already a Steam. Oh, when I dragged it over, it made the other one go away. So let me get to my Steam folder really quick. That's here, here, here. You can see this. So I'm into the Steam folder. I need to actually drag my Steam folder back over here. And I'll put it up here by components and VST, right? Open Steam, Omnisphere, settings library, patches. This is where all the patch library folders are at. If something shows up over here, why are you doing your thinking thing? It's got to think for a minute. So I get to have a, it's National Coffee Day, I understand. I don't know why it's doing that. I didn't tell it to do this. Yeah. Huh. Hello, Logic. Okay, I'm going to quit real quick and come right back because I don't want to wait. I'm impatient. So hang on one second. I'm going to be quiet. You won't hear me for a second. Yeah, Clark, thank you for your support. He gave me some tips on OBS, and yeah, I'm a happy streamer. It's awesome. Anyway, this folder that says patches, this shows you the patches folders, and if you look over here at your patches list, this list will match this. Now, in the case here, I have a MegaMagic Violin Demo. I moved those patches all into the all, so it doesn't show up. If no patches show up in a folder, then that folder won't show up. In order for a folder to show up in this list, it has to have at least one patch. So I can actually I can delete this demo folder. This is what you can do. You can delete and you can right click on this and say move to trash. And the next time you start up, it will not show up in your list. Because the 18 original patches plus everybody else's patches are inside this all folder. So, and so here we are. If there's any questions, shoot them to me so I can, you guys are having some good discussions. Clark, you've done more than give a little back, my friend. The patches you've made in the past. Clark is a crazy programmer. Make sure you go to author and look at all of the people that made patches in this library. It's crazy. Isn't that crazy? Even Nico's patches are here. Clark Parker is here with some really nice. The ESC have contributed 68 patches to this, so make sure you check out the European Sound Collective. They are working on something I'm going to be releasing in a little while that is just crazy. So they are a wonderful team. There's many patches, 68 patches from the ESC Collective. And this is from a whole bunch of different people. So thank you to all you guys. It's a blessing. It was roughly about a year ago that I got to talking to Bernie and this started up, and it's just, you guys are all a blessing. Yeah. Great stuff. So much great stuff here. So thank you again to everybody. There's 250 patches that we're going to go through and pick the best of, and that will be happening in the first part of this week. I'm going to share with you the patches I've made today. There's a couple, some of these I'm going to take that are patches and turn them into multis, because some of them, they're so nice, but they only have a certain limited sample range where they work, and then they kind of fall apart. So I can expand it into a multi and make it work out that way. Also today, I'm going to give you guys a first look at a new synthesizer that has been introduced, and we'll talk about it. It's called Zone from Audiaire. I think it's how you say their name. A new company. It's their 1.0. It's a little rough on the edges. There's some optimizations I hope they can do. It's an interesting idea. The whole idea that there's this step sequencer, and if you drag anything over here, you know, you just say, I'm creating a new lane from something, and off you go, right? So we'll look at that in a little bit, but let's get back to this. I did a live stream impromptu on Thursday to check out the OBS software to make sure it works, and I went through a lot of these patches. I've now gone through all the patches. Taylor, my wonderful assistant that works his tail end off, we've gone through, we've categorized, moved things to the appropriate categories. We've put spaces into names because a lot of them didn't have spaces. We've gone through and cleaned them up level-wise so things shouldn't be too blowing up your ears too often. But we're also going to do I think we'll do it as a live stream. I'm going to pick a couple patches that were made by more beginner people. And it's going to be like, okay, what can we do to these to take them levels up, you know? One of the places I've found that it seems a lot of people can use work and understanding or something is envelopes. You might have a great sound, but do you have the envelopes? Like if you took this and even just bring in just this kalimba, make it longer. You know, envelopes are critical to understand and master. Hey, I just brushed my teeth and they're so fresh now. Oh, I'm so happy. You know, like here are the envelopes. And the effects are kind of fighting each other. So I'll do a live stream or a video where we... Like here, it's one of the sounds from the library. And then just a synth sound. Like if we took... Like, you gotta look at this as a marriage. Okay? Here's the wife. If you want to have a happy marriage, you as a husband need to not just be playing video games. Unless you're going to be, honey, come over here and play video games. And then you would change her up to be, you know, and you... Let's get her to be more video gamey. We'll turn it the other way first, and then we're gonna go the other way. Okay, that's more video gamey, so that would work better with okay, that's a good marriage. It's a good start. Right? Let me save that. That's funny. So go save. We'll go to my folder. So we're going to navigate out of here. And I'll keep working on it and finalize it and so forth. So this is to patches, MegaMagic. Huh? Oh, it's doing it by dates. So that's why I'm not seeing it the way I want to. So violin. Let's call this Electronic Mayhem. And we'll call it Gamer's Delight. And thank you, Bill Mooney. You and I are going to be collaborating on a patch. And it's a playable polyphonic patch. And I'll go through and clean all this stuff up as far as to the categories. But that's... Right? Let's go the other way. So let's go... I got to go to Bill Mooney and find his patch again. So here's this and... There we go, dark light. No, that's not it. Yeah, so here we go. So now if we were to go the other way, we want to match the wife, right? So that's kind of got this epic... So you need something to match that, right? Thanks for the philosophical statements. I am marriage counseling. Yes, here we go. So, how do we get this husband to get in line with his wife so they have a happy, harmonious marriage, right? Well, needs to have release. Don't go there. Don't go there. We need to have a filtering. And I'd say maybe some unison. Now he's something maybe supportive to... and then maybe because the compromise is necessary in marriage, right? You have to shorten her release a little bit here. Get everybody in line. Okay, see? You gotta think about not just putting two sounds together, but now making the sounds work to make something. And you kind of got to pick one of the personalities of these two sounds and go, I'm going to commit to that, or I'm going to commit to that. And you can kind of see the difference between the two, right? Going the video game way, and we've got Game Boy stuff going on. This way, we've got... This would be a cool... something Knower or other bands like that would use. Maybe take this, get more shape out of it. There's no filtering going on yet. So. And I love to do a double shape, so we'll do it. Really get that snappy. Okay, I like that. So let's save that too. So we'll go save patch as, we'll call it Snappy Symmetry. And now you're going to see my horrible spelling. S-Y-M-E-N-T. I will spell check. Let me see. I do this all the time. S-Y-M-E-T. Is that right? S-Y-M-M-E-T-R-Y. S-Y-M-M-E-T-R-Y. Snappy Symmetry. Yes. Okay. And I need to save that back to the my folder library. And this is also playable polyphonic. That's not the right category for it, but we'll fix it later. But see, we've now got things better matching. There's compromise on both sides. The husband had to change a little more, to be honest. He had to drop some of his video game ways. But what you do now is you can go to the modulation controls and bring up the mod wheel so that he can go back to his video game self. You know. Anyway, you get the idea. So great. Cool patch. That was fun to do. Let's see. Go back to all. There's so much stuff in here to play with. So I hope you take advantage of this. I'll keep it up for one more week. Next Friday, the full version of the library comes out, and for one day, I'll let there be a crossover. How's that for being a nice guy? So there's 250 patches. Plus the 18 of the full library, so there's 268 patches in there. Let me share with you some of the patches I've created for this library. This is maybe my favorite one. I love this to death. I've played this for way too long. It's called Rivendell. It's Babbling Brook. It's the full choir swell Oz. These are inside Omnisphere. If you go here, there's a number of different swells. If you do a search for swells, there's octaves and all sorts of really cool things. They fade out. So I took that and then I matched that envelope with my dark ensemble so that it has a similar you can make everything go away but the water if you want. This way you can control all you film and TV and drama guys. So again, this just to be this wonderful visual is done by Shane Doon. You can find it on the web to download. It's called Show MIDI, and when my sustain pedal is pressed down, it's pink, and when my sustain pedal is not, the keys are green. This is the this is the modulation wheel, and this is pitch bend. So you can see exactly what I am playing and doing as I play these. So this is just lovely. I mean. And if you play down low, not great. All right, let's go somewhere else. Here's a BPM string. One patch. I actually used all 4 layers. I'm guilty. I'm guilty. I finalized a little bit more of the pizzicato bongo. We started last week. And it works really well with the drums. So if you go over here, I'm in multi. I want to go over here. Get into some ambient trance. Let's go to part 3. Violin. And this one here, the slammer is really cool. Check this out. So if we go muting these guys for now, go to part 1. Splatter slammer. This is fun. I'm using velocity, strong velocities to change crush. Good. So you can use that to change the tonality. It's really snappy. Catch and release. Oh, this is using reverb, which is kind of cool. So if let's speed this up a little bit faster. Like, here we go. And this opens the reverb up all the time. I want to add more to it. So you get this nice reverb hit to happen. There's some nice pads, some other ones, missing contact. Where are you, man? I miss you. Plucky vibrato thing. So you can play it really nicely. It's very... kind of stuff. Fuzzy Arco. So this is one that I'll turn into a multi. Grammar's Delight. Oh, Gamer's Delight. This is one we just did. And then the other way, remember? It's cool, the same waveforms. Just program 2 different ways, can go to different stuff like that. We did this in a live stream a couple weeks ago. Why Did Mama Wake Me? Mama, what are we doing out here? So, and I have time. There's more. I got more patches to make. Oh, oh, this was so fun. So it's one patch. It's really cool. Check this out. This is a spiccato, but it's really dark. You just hear the snap of it as you bring it up. So I'm doing this by having this stay at this pitch, but then the melody is being controlled by that mod envelope, which means you can go to this. And there's a delay. If you hear the delay, it's the 8th note. So there's a lot going on in this one patch. And it's easy to mess up. So anyway, you get the idea. It's fun stuff. And oh, by the way, it's also got really cool violins. And oh, you guys don't know this yet. There will be a quartet included in the violin library. It's using cellos, it's using violas, and it's using violin samples. Yeah, love it. And there's also a slow motion version for the... So that will be included. Working on some. There's a really nice solo patch in the demo all you guys should play. It's really nice. I'm going to take it and turn it into a multi. Isn't that cello, isn't the quartet great? I am so excited. I was like, I got to see if I can do it. And I pulled it out, and it works across the keyboard. So I was thinking to do one of those where you have to buy all 3 libraries. And I was like, no, you know, nah. If you own all 3 libraries, I thank you so much. But I wanted to make it so you could just have the violin library, and it's coming with a quartet type. I mean, it's not like you can't. I tried to do Elmer Rigby, and it doesn't do it quite. I tried. It's close. It's nice and fun, but it's a nice quartet. It sounds like a quartet in certain situations, depending on how you have to play it a certain way, right? But if we go to violin, the all, where is the all? Oh, I'm in multis. So go here. All. If you get down here to the strings, see if I can find it. They're a really nice. There's so many patches in here. My gosh, guys. And they're great. I mean, so many. Oh, here, I think it's this. This was made by BSB. Again, envelopes. You gotta have a little bit more release to the, so if we, just like that much, and then make it more exponential. Can you tell the difference? I'm playing versus how it was. It's like an organ envelope. So just a small amount gives it just that much more authenticity of an acoustic instrument, to me at least. Otherwise, it's an organ envelope, and that's like not. It doesn't connotate anything of acoustics, to me. I mean. All right. So, do I have everything covered? Are you guys all excited? I don't. Let's see. What are you guys talking about? It's different to filter for sure, but you can use the same. Oh, my targets. I don't see to coax a really long release value out of the mod wheel. I have problems with my Ryzen machine, guys. Yes. So yeah, talking about long releases and modulating those. If you start short and you want it long, it doesn't work. The trick is this. Let's say we want this to, if this rings out all the way, right? And it's short. And we want it to start that way. If you go over here, you can say new modulation routing, and you can say, let's have the mod wheel go to, you go to the envelope to amp, release, trim, and it's maxed. So you say full value, and now it makes it even shorter. What you do is you reverse it. You invert it. You make this the max that you want it to be. You bring this up to this, and then you control how... oh, wait, no, you want this down like this. This is your strength, and then as you bring this up, by bringing this up, it's actually inverting this value. So as I bring this slider up, it's bringing this down on the release. And when you get up here to the top, I find I need to use the shift key. But I've now set it up so that it's short. And when I bring the mod wheel all the way up, see, it reverses, and now it's to the full length. The other thing that's interesting to note, when the notes take off, they are running at whatever envelope value they're at, which can be really cool if instead of the wheel you use velocity to this, so that a soft velocity. So you go to your ARP, turn this on, let's make it like just 4 notes. If I make these all short, low values, take that one up an octave. See how it's ringing long and everybody else is short? So you can do cool things. You can get things happening where certain notes stick out in different ways. Go like this and have this and be like a 14. And you got Thomas Newman. Let's zoom in a little bit here. I'm going to add, because I want to have a little bit more space. I want to round this out just a little bit. And then let's do this. Let's copy this layer. I'm going to make a patch. I like where I'm heading with this, so you're coming along with me whether you want to or not. Paste this layer. And let's turn this off, and then let's find something we can complement that with. And I think for my money, a MegaMagic 2 sound. Let's go to the full violin library. Look at all these 475 something samples. Let's use a spiccato sample, but let's use a MegaMagic 2. And I'm going to move later in the sample. Let's see how that sounds together. And let's do this. Let's shape this release a little bit more. And 14, let's do 17. Two octaves. But because the velocity is so sensitive, you can do all sorts of really cool things now. Let's do a nice delay. Okay, that's a start. I like that. And maybe this, I turn a harmonia just one octave, an octave lower. Let's have this modulated, so sit right there. Let's say legato, sync. I want a triangle shape. There we go. Now, I like that shape, so I want to emphasize that somewhere else. Let's do that. Let's have it also happen here. So modulate this with LFO1, but invert it. So it comes up, and if it's the other way around, they both got soft together and they get loud together. I want to do the opposite. I want this volume to go up when it's getting softer. Yeah, Clark, check out the newest version. There's a demo, there's an update available. I don't have the update installed, so if you have a bug, check it. And if you ever have you can contact Spectrasonics from their website and let them know. Let's call this BPM string Numanish for now, and I'll work on this some more. I have some ideas. This would be ARP and BPM, save, mood, childlike, dreamlike, save. But I'll expand this arpeggiated thing more. I'm gonna grow up more so you can play like just octave and fifth. I'll do like a film score in a patch type of thing, okay? That'll be fun. So, there's so many patches. You guys did great. They're all over the place, mood-wise. That's what's so fun with getting everybody's opinions and their spirit into one library like this. It's crazy. Make sure you go over, turn on stack mode, and try a couple of these basses together. It's really fun to... you know, go BPM bass, and then go to the second part, maybe like this. Look at the effects. Mod wheel's cool. And play. That's the whole, and all of a sudden you have something really cool and you start working away. So if you have questions, pop them up. I'm happy to help. I'm here to kind of facilitate. I'm going to show you guys Zone. Let's do this. Let's call it up on this Omnisphere track so I still have the show MIDI keyboard. This is a new $139 on sale synthesizer that just came out. I know some of the people that worked on the DSP for parts of this. Let's do this. Let's get this to be down here at the bottom range right here. And this could be right here. Oh, you're hiding my logo. You can't do that. So you got to go like 125. There we go. That's better. I don't mind hiding my plug, but you got to have at least the plug in there, right? So like that. Like that. Now, first of all, the reset button for initializing a patch is right here. The initialize patch, I would rather it was set up differently than they set it up, but I'll show you that maybe in a minute. What's the URL? It's Audio Air. Let me show you. New AUDIAIRE.com. AudioAir.com. It's available already on Slice. Is it Slice or Splice? I can't remember. Maybe it's Splice. But you can lease it, pay by the month for it. It uses iLok. Be aware you have to have iLok software installed on your computer to authorize it. There's a 14-day trial you can try out to use it. I'm a little torn. The idea is really cool. There's some things. You have 4 effects right here. You have a decent list of effects. But when you call up an effect, you have 3 parameters. And the parameter names don't tell you what they are until you click on them. And in some cases, I'm finding where like they've got such things as like a mod delay, which is great. kind of like what Omnisphere has that we use on everything. There's a delay time, feedback, modulation. They need a fourth control for the color of the delay. You cannot darken the delay. So I don't know how they'll fix that, but it's kind of like you need more than 3 parameters for effects. It's very rare that you get away. You know, Dave Smith got away with it with his synth, but in this case, you really want to have more control, I would think. But the concept is this: you can you have these lanes, right? There's 400 patches, so you can go here through like a best of. Let me play just some of the sounds. The other thing to be aware of is it's not very CPU optimized. Even just a pad like this. 4 notes. So the very first patch, you can see it's taking up a lot of CPU for. Here you can see some of the stuff happening with. That's cool. Basically, oh, I got delay again. It's, why is it the latency? Stop. Okay, there we go. Got it back. So basically the layout is you have 2 oscillators. You have waveforms to choose. Notice there is no name for the waveforms, which I think is kind of odd. Hopefully that's something they fix. So you can see what waveform you have. You have all these waveforms and no names. At the very top is your sine wave. Here, let's do this. Go reset. When you reset, it turns on both oscillators at half volume with filtering and with the amp not at max. So I would turn off and turn this up and short release, max sustain, and open the filter. So you can actually hear. I wish there's a way to update the default. There's not. They need to do that. It would be really nice. So I could save an updated version. Like I want my default to be like this. Because the default as it's called up. I mean, it's almost a keyboard piano. It's not a synth. It doesn't sound like a synth. But if you bring the volume all the way up, sustain all the way up, filter all the way up, release down. As a comparison, let's compare that to Omnisphere. And we'll compare it to Serum for just the initialized, what it sounds like when you call it up, right? Let's go over here, say X for records, Serum. This is a wavetable synth. So there's Serum. There's a noticeable difference in brightness. Here's Omnisphere. To zone. Omnisphere is a little thinner. Just by default. Here, let's do it this way. Just because it's confusing if you can't see what I'm calling up. So we will do this. Turn on my little purple chain. And that way as I change tracks, okay, you have shape. And as you go down the list, this is the wavetable. Right? Let's do a aliasing test. If we falls apart pretty strongly up there. If we go to Omnisphere and choose one of the edgy wavetables. Go to zone and play that. Oh, whoops. I'm not on initialize anywhere. Initialize the patch. edgy. So there's a lot less optimization. Hear the A thing? Pretty good. And Serum is king. It's got so much stuff. You can go to these crazy waveforms. Oh, these are patches. Hold on a second here. Initialize patch. And go initialize preset. I've been doing some production work, so I have all the... Somatics patches are incredible, so I love them as well. If we go to the wavetable list and we go to some of the really bright... I mean, that's so pure. Compare that to Zone. Big difference. So they didn't do their homework to get really clean oscillators with higher quality math and all that stuff, so be aware of that. What that means is when you start with a pure sound and you go into radical synthesis, if it can handle playing up here without aliasing, then that means it will be a more pure form of synthesis, even if it's low notes. That's the reason why aliasing is critical to check. This tells you where does this oscillator fall apart, and this one, even right there, it falls apart. If you compare this to Serum, it's pure. Hear how pure that is, even when playing the top notes? That's why you hear it for those types of sounds, and it sounds so great on tracks, because it's just, it's like 3D in front of you. Okay, so you have the shape. As well as, if you want, you can use different types of FM and synthesis modulations. To do this, you have to turn on layer 2 and turn down the volume. Let's do a sine wave. Right? Now, if we want, we can go to voices. Bring this up so it's like 7 voices in unison. Let me turn it down because it's going to be really loud. So I can do those types of big growly. There's filters. There's a number of different filters. I really liked, where was it? The phaser. And you can bring up your depth. Now, if we were to do a similar sound in Serum, let's set this to be an envelope and trigger this over to the wavetable. Unison goes up to 16. And this was doing more of a boring. So let's make this be slower. So we would go to our rate. And then we could add some of the cool effects here. There's flanges and so forth. So you could say flange. So you could do similar things. It can get nice and rude, for sure. I mean, it has some attitude to it. I didn't hear a lot of this in the patches, but it's there. I take that back. There's some attitude. So now we're getting into this. This is a cool concept that they have where you have the ability to... Let's get something that's... Right? You have the ability to control parameters. If you click right here, you have different preset shapes. There's a random button here. And you got to realize, this is actually, when you assign a parameter to here, I want to get my voice to have that latency off there. When you assign a parameter like cutoff, it's gone. You can't, this doesn't work anymore. You are now editing from here. So you're editing the parameters from here. That's one of the things I hope they can look at, is maybe to make it so you still have access to, like, I like to do things where it's got some cool rhythmic thing going, but the mod wheel can still open up the whole filter. Currently, you can't do that. But again, this is 1.0 early look. It has a lot going on. I love the interface and the ideas behind it. And again, it's on sale for $139. So the places they need to work is maybe more parameters for effects. Optimizing the oscillator is a must, because it will take your all these pads. If I play these, it immediately is 100%. With just 5 notes, so. So it has a unique sound to it. If you have something that covers this already, it might not be necessary, but it does have a unique sound to it. I found that most of the patches either had something kind of weird, like that on the mod wheel, or nothing. So I wish that would be a little bit more. Mod wheel's not doing anything. Cool sound. Mod wheel does nothing. Macros. Nothing. So I would never release anything that didn't have every macro doing something. And it doesn't really tell you. Let's see here. How do you find out? Detach. So you have to right click and say detach to see mod 4 amount. It doesn't say that anywhere, does it? So it's not giving you as much information and feedback. When you click here, at least it should tell you the name of the parameter that you're changing, or the list of parameters you're changing. Maybe their values, something like that would be helpful. So yeah, it's 1.0. I think that they can improve things on this. I hope they will improve things on this. This interface, create a new lane, and then you can just go over here and if you right click, not there, but to the left of that, here's where you say assign parameter, and you can assign it to any parameter that's here. And once you've done that, like I said, if I say to have this be filter cutoff, this is white. So now this is, and it's randomize here, so I could say randomize here. This doesn't do anything. It's gone. So I don't have the access to like globally shift it or anything. It ignores it. So maybe they can look at that. I don't know. Maybe that's just the way they want the concept to be behind it. So there's a lot of patches. There's a 14-day demo, so you can download it, try it for yourself, go through it, see. There is sync, so let's see if I want to hit here, that goes away. Cool. So it's an interesting synth. They did some good stuff on it. I like the sound of it overall. Any questions? We're going to cut it short just a little bit if there's not any questions. Anything you want to see or stuff? I mean, we're here to hang, so we're hanging. What ring light did you get? This is the ring light. It's like a, I could show you on Amazon. It's really cool. It's got a control for the temperature. And then it has brightness. And I have it on like the lowest setting just to do a little bit of even brightness to my face. So nice. Let's see. Amazon. It's, let's see, my orders. I can show you what it is. It's this right here. It's the Beauty LED. Right here. Beauty LED Zomme 10-inch dimmable LED ring light. And it's got a place to put your phone in the middle. And my daughter uses it as well. She keeps coming up and taking it out of my studio. But I like it. 50 bucks. It's a nice investment. It's much nicer. Here, let's turn that off. Than this, which is harsh light. See how harsh this is and shadowy and so forth. So to go, I wanted to upgrade my lights. So I went from that to that. So more better. So I'm all happy. Which company is Zone? That's Audio Air. Audio Air, AUDIAIRE. Here is their website one more time, so you can try it out. It's always fun to play with new synthesizers and just see what concepts people are trying to bring to the table, new and different. The middle lane for all the controllers is new and different. It's unlimited numbers of lanes, and you can. What's nice is if you want, I believe, is it clicking right here? When you click this, it makes that one lane takes up the screen. So you can see the value is set here on this side. So you can, let's see if we go init. And I'm sad I have to do all this stuff to get the init to be actually init. If I come over here and I say, let's assign this to the filter cutoff. It doesn't have a smooth parameter either. Be aware. So let's hit here so we can see what we're doing. Again, this filter cutoff is gone. The only way to control your filter cutoff now is by what settings you have here on this lane. There's no way to globally raise it or lower it from what I can tell. So that's one of the bigger issues for me personally. Let's assign this to be maybe the attack. There's no curvature. Be cool if I could see this moving like that, you know. There's no visual feedback. Even this should be showing visual feedback to the filter cutoff. That would be nice to be another step in showing you what something is doing. When you assign cutoff to do this, this should be dancing around, right? Let's look at the effects real quick. There's stereo delay, time left, time right. It doesn't sound like a stereo delay to me. Oh, now it is. Just has to be different values. Eighth notes. Again, you've got delayed time, left, right, and feedback. But I have no color controls. If you go to Omnisphere, let's say sawtooth waveform, right? And let's have this doing... right? And you go to the delay and you add a delay. Say just this BPM delay, right? Right here is tone, and you have the ability to make it. Here's where zone is at. It's a direct copy of itself. But here I have the ability to make the delays darker. Or I can go the other way, which removes the body and makes it so it's just a high-end stuff. And it has resonance, right? I can even right-click this and modulate it to... All that is missing right now from Zone. You don't have any controls whatsoever to change the color. That's the delay. And either you can have it shorter or ring for a long time. But there's no way to say, it seems to be getting a little darker. It's not an equal delay, like in brightness. It's doing something, but it'd be nice to have color and controls to it. There's ping pong left, right, right, left, mod delay, which we looked at. There's ball down. I think that's if I was to have this be like a little hit. If any of you are familiar with Sine Vibes, Sine Vibes is another company you guys should all know about. This is my friend Artemi, and he's got like, this is kind of like a version of the Shimmer Verb that you can check out. He's got all sorts of plugins. They're really affordably priced that do all sorts of things. He's the guy behind the DSP effects that you find inside Zone. So ball down and ball up is stuff that he's got as plugins you can do as a plugin as well. Raindrop. Kind of cool. The reverbs are nice. Let's do this. Let's get rid of this. So we say destroy the lane. And we have pre-delay time, decay, and dampening. So you have controls like that for the reverb. You do have color controls. Phasers, barber pole. Effects Control 3 is not used. Okay, compressor, decimator. Standard kind of stuff like that. Again, only 2 controls. This one's dark, doesn't do anything. So yeah, that's the layout of Zone. It's definitely a 1.0. I think there's places they will be improving it over time to make it better. So be aware of that. If you are looking for a new synthesizer, that's an option to look at. All right. My head is full. Zone sounds better than Omnisphere to me, and its concept is great. Any plan for presets for it? Well, I'll explain this about presets. Because I make my living with this, I have to wait until X number of customers own a certain plugin before I really get serious about making a library for it. I have to pay my bills with what I do, and as it's just the law of economics. So I don't release anything for something that's just been released. It needs to have. There's a small percentage of you guys that will even consider buying libraries for their synthesizers. Hopefully once somebody buys one of my libraries, they're kind of hooked and they want to get more, because we try to produce like the best quality patches that we can. And we try to stand by and do all the customer support and stuff, but it needs to be out for a while for it to mature to where there's enough customers. And quite honestly, Omnisphere is definitely the most customers that are interested in finding new sounds for their synthesizer to play. So that's why I keep supporting Omnisphere. If I was supporting doing this with other synthesizers, I probably couldn't do this full time, because so many of those are just torrented and not bought. It's just sad economics. So that's where we're at. It's a nice synth. I have some issues with the way Zone works, but I'm thinking they're going to work on fixing and improving things. You can send them email with questions when you're trying out the 14-day demo saying, do you have plans to maybe do this? Is this how this is going to work? Feedback helps developers know what to focus on. So once you own something from someone, you should let them know if you want it improved, because that will help them know what to do. All right. God, you guys are still sticking around. That is so awesome. Let's see. Is there any other questions? I can go back and play more Omnisphere violin patches, showing you guys your awesome work. We'll just go down the list for a little bit. MegaMagic Violin Demo All. Great voice, cool. That's great. Love the snap. Yeah, in my opinion, nothing beats Omnisphere. I think for the money, there is really nothing that can beat Omnisphere. Especially when you consider the fact that not only is it a great synthesizer playing this, but it can play 8 great sounds and give you controls in ways to split it up across the keyboard. I mean, there's no other synth that you can sit down and have it be a killer synth and then also go around and have something like this type of stuff happen where I can make these things that I'm actually playing and slow it down. And then put drums. And that sound. I mean, where else can you go where one instrument can give you this much power over 6 patches simultaneously? It's changing parameters in the drum sounds, which are these 4 sounds, in the bass and the synthesizer sound. I mean, it's insane. So that kind of power, the ability to create sounds that will rip your head off, it can definitely do that kind of stuff, to do the inspiring sounds. So many film guys love the filmic qualities of it. You know, Omnisphere is still the king of what you should have to start with. If I would think, just because you cover synthesis and samples, you can put your own samples in it to play with. There's just so many benefits. Dare I say, Omnisphere suits the more mature gent. Well, it suits someone that's willing to pay for their instruments. That's for sure. So many other companies struggle all the time with people pirating their software because it's 40, 60 megabytes to download. There's torrents everywhere. Omnisphere is like 35, 40 gigabytes to download. That stops a lot of people in their track. They do a good job keeping it off the torrent sites and so forth. And I think people realize the amount of work it took to make this. And so they're honest to it, you know. I think more professionals, more people that earn enough money to buy sounds, to buy things. They use it for their living. They write music for trailers or for some. They're used to spending for things. It's not just the teenager that doesn't even have a job yet. Those guys are not customers until they get a bit older, you know? So yeah, it's interesting how things go, but when you start young, it's kind of an accepted that you torrent whatever you can get your hands on. You're evaluating, is this something I'm going to get into? I don't earn enough money to pay for this. And a small handful of those guys, to be honest, they are the producers right now working with Selena Gomez, and they are working with all these other artists. And I'm not saying they all did, but a lot of guys that are established, they started young experimenting with stuff that they could download. And then they get to a point, everybody gets to a certain tipping point, usually once you have a kid, where you go, wow, you know, I got it. I don't want to use stuff that I didn't buy. When you invest in something that's your tools, it just makes it even more connected to your creativity, to be honest. And when you get to the point where you don't have anything that you didn't buy and you're using stuff that you've purchased, it's a really great feeling. And something in your artistic sense matures. And so, you know, everybody starts with experimenting. I started with experimenting at one point. I'm as guilty as everybody else because you know, working at a music store in Seattle when I was a kid, well, software wasn't even happening that much then. But you experiment, you try out things, and then, you know, I would buy things if I liked them. And if I didn't like them, they would just sit on the hard drive and I wouldn't use them because and then at some point you just delete everything and you just install the stuff that you own. And from then forward, you're more likely to be like that, you know? And so it's nice to sit here and say nothing on my hard drive is from a torrent site, you know? That's nice. It's a nice place to be. All right. Well, I'm going to say good night. Thank you, Marius. Thank you, all of you guys, again, for contributing. I love the community. It's great to have this opportunity for you guys to get together and talk and share all this information that you guys are talking about. I think it's inspiring for a lot of people. Some old school tricks, synth tricks, that would be cool. Okay. We could do some old school synth tricks. Yeah. By the way, Airwave is doing a third library, and we do have big plans for 2019. Yes. But just so you know, I'm releasing the violin library on Friday next week. I'm maybe going to be able to do a live stream on Sunday, but not Saturday, because I am going to Seattle to see Airwave play live. He's going to be playing at a club in Seattle on Saturday night. So after releasing 2 libraries from this guy that are just such inspiring... And once you get from this And then you go to Omnisphere Volume 2. These like fit-ass patches just... So he's playing live in Seattle Saturday, so I can't wait. I haven't met him in person before. Can you believe it? We've worked for like 3-4 years. Never met him in person. We've Skyped. We've done interviews in the past. But I get to see him in person. So next week, the live stream will probably be Sunday. Okay? Not Saturday, because I will be out of town. Thank you for joining. You guys are awesome customers, and I love to hang out with you. Send me notes through the website if you have any questions. If you own the $2 library, relog into the website. It's there waiting for you to download. It's called the Omnisphere 2 Violin DEMO All. And you'll see it right next to the full library that you could get. But don't download that because the All has all 18 patches that it comes with in the default demo, plus 250 patches from everybody included. So between now and next Friday, I'll be going through to weed down to the final selected patches. I'll be contacting you guys with a link for the full library when it's done. And onward and upward, okay? So thank you. Cheers. I'll see you later. Oh, shout out. Let's do a shout out. Oh, hey, Greg. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you, Dennis Gregg. He's another programmer that has a whole bunch of patches in the library. We're just talking about the all version is now out. Yeah, so I thought Dennis. Oh, Greg Dennis. Yeah. Greg has all these patches in here. So, oh, I've got strings going on. So if I initialize the multi and come over here, get back to Violin Demo All. Author Greg Dennis did a good job. You guys all did such great work. My goodness. Look at, I mean. Cool stuff. Shout out from Portland. I think latency is better with this too. I'm really enjoying this. This is nice. New streaming software being used. So, and next time I'm going to upgrade. I think I can set it up to be a full 1080. Looks like we can do that. So let's do some demos for the bonus library. You guys are crazy. Yeah, the CPU is sitting at a really low percentage rate. So I think I'm going to bump it next time up to a 1080. So we can do 1920 by 1080 resolution. Yay. All right. Be well. Thank you again. Blessings. Good times. Happy birthday to my daughter. Bye.